One of these days will last. One in the fall.
My name is William Simpson. I live in the Florida Panhandle in Pensacola, and I'm 25 years old, and I live alone. I have for a long time. I had a couple roommates. They didn't work out. Both times I only had a roommate for 3 months total. I didn't intentionally move out, if that makes any sense. I didn't want to, actually. It wasn't my idea. I was in a relationship at the time, and the person I was with wanted me to. Not that it would be uncomfortable to come to my parents' house to come see me, it's just more comfortable to have your own place, you know what I mean? And ultimately, he was going to stay here with me all the time, and probably even move out in here with me. But it just did not work out that way. As soon as I moved in, it felt like we had this fight. It was a really big deal, or whatever, you know what I mean? So now, things don't seem like they were that big of a deal. In fact, in the moment, it didn't seem like the world was ending, or the sky was falling. But, of course, that's how it was treated and everything, and so I ended up here alone, you know what I mean? I've been here for 4 years. Not completely alone. I've had friends, wanted something, but God had other plans for me and for him, ultimately. His name was Bradley. His actual first name was William, though, if that's okay to say, because both our first names were William, but thank God they didn't call him that, you know what I mean? They called him by his middle name. I almost lost my mind here, and the only reason why I didn't, I really believe this too. I got into a really severe car accident 2 years ago on the 28th of June 2022, and I totaled my mom's car. I made a whole video about this, but I'm just saying, I broke 4 ribs. I broke my right femur. I had a compression fracture on my back. My mom says I had 2. I don't even know what a compression fracture is, but anyways, yeah, it was very serious. My hip almost was crushed. They had to do emergency surgery when I got to the hospital. It failed because they said my hips were too soft or whatever it was. It failed. They couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So then they had to wait to do another surgery just to see if they could do it. You know what I mean? I could have ended up a vegetable. I could have ended up dead. But instead of any of those things, I rose to the occasion, you know what I mean? And ultimately, I truly believe, whatever you feel like is going to happen is probably what will happen. The human mind is so powerful, but I've never really thought about things like that before that happened to me, but I have purpose in this world, and I didn't realize it. And so I got in that car accident. I survived, and it changed my perspective on life. I want to live. Life is beautiful. It changed my whole tune. When I got out of that hospital, I started focusing more on YouTube. I was working on YouTube hardcore. Me and Madison were going full-fledged, trying to put out these podcasts, trying to figure out how to do this stuff, you know what I mean? Even though I've done it for a few years already. Well, I've done it since I was 11 years old. I've done it since I got my first computer. I would burn discs of my little sister, like movies, like real movies, like not real movies, but you know what I mean? They would burn like a movie was, and you would click the play button in the VCR, like you click OK on the thing or whatever after the commercial would play that I would make myself with iMovie, and I would burn on my MacBook. I got it at 11 years old, and I'd make these movies of her growing up, and I'd send them to all of our relatives and stuff like that, and we would burn like 10 discs of the same thing every year on her birthday, and we would send them all to like my mom's sisters and my dad's family and everything, you know what I mean? Making movies, I've always enjoyed that. So making videos, which is so difficult at times, I just love doing it. So it's not difficult for me. In those most difficult times where it takes me hours to figure something out, or like get something to work, I'm okay with that because it's not something that I find to be work. But obviously, it takes a lot of time and effort, and it takes a lot of out of someone, and that's why a lot of people end up not monetized, end up not continuing to want to do it. They just feel like probably like they have other callings, and they probably do. Mind you, this was about 2.5 years after he left. Bradley came back into my life. I was like, thank God. You know what I mean? It was like, yes, finally, he's back. Everything's gonna be exactly the way I pictured it. You know what I mean? I was right the whole time about everything I thought. We're gonna get married, and no. We drove to my grandma's 86th birthday together, and that was the last day I ever saw him. He had apparently done something he shouldn't have done, and he ended up um, passing away. I had no idea he was doing anything, but that's what the case was, and that's what happened. It makes no sense. To this day, I don't feel like it happened. There's no gravesite. He wasn't buried. They did what they did. And I can sit here and argue all day on that, but it's not my position. Any emotions that I had left in me, I felt like left with him that time because I never in a million years thought I'd be back in that position of not knowing whether or not somebody was going to ever talk to me again. You know what I mean? And ultimately, it's not all about me, but I thought he just ghosted me. And I find his obituary 6 days later, and it felt like the whole world came crashing down on me and then quickly left. Like those emotions, any emotion I had left with that. I was numb fully. People can't make you love you. These people that you think complete you cannot do that unless you have you. Rewind that and re-listen to that. That's some real shit. I grew fond of that solitude at times. To be honest with you, in that silence, I was the most creative I had ever been in my life, and still to this day am. So, what can I be mad at? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, the silence at times makes me wonder, though, what's next. I know that there's a purpose I need to fulfill, and with YouTube, I really think I found what I'm good at. I've done this since I was a child, like I said, at 11 years old, burning those discs on my first laptop. I love that throughout my journey being alone, I found amazing souls who are just as, if not more creative than I am. And, it's amazing the things that we've been able to create together. Thank you so much to all the people that are involved in the channel, all my friends. Madison, thank you. Nina, thank you. George Sheehy, thank you so much for the original music. Ben, thank you for the music as well. They're so amazing, you guys. All the music on this channel is completely 100% original, and it's played by my good friends and that I've met in the past few years of living here alone. So, it just goes to show you that, like, things really are meant to happen, regardless of if they are not something you can understand in the moment. I think in due time we'll all see the bigger picture, maybe. And if not, what do I know? But I do know I'm not going to sit here and pout. I'm a very strong person. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy, but I would say I would recommend it for someone who hasn't found themselves to go through solitude. I think it takes an immense amount of pressure and resilience to overcome it and challenge the silence itself and make it into your own habitat, you know what I mean? And really get creative in that space like I am right now because I'm all alone. Sometimes it feels like I'm all alone in the world too, like I'm never going to find someone or something like that. But I just know in my heart that that's not what I'm supposed to be looking for right now. I'm supposed to be fulfilling my destiny, like my purpose. I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing right here And maybe if I'm wrong, you know, and this is all just some coincidence and everything just happens, then so be it. I don't care. Don't comment down below and say that. You know what I mean? Let's play make-believe, because you know what? The more I've played make-believe and the more that I've actually really sat down and believed the things that I've thought and I've said and I've worked for, the more they've come into, you know, the light, the more that they've expanded into my actual reality. You know what I'm saying? What's the word everybody uses? Manifestation. You know what I'm saying? Manifestation only works if you're working. Do you understand what I mean? Like, if you want something, you can't just expect it to come because you said your affirmations. You say your affirmations as you're working on the projects that you want to create, and you create them. Simple as that. And whatever you want to be president, you want to be senator, whatever, a movie star, actress, you know, a singer. I've always wanted to be a singer, personally. And I think that's coming up next, maybe. But yeah, I just wanted to make this because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are around my age, and they probably feel alone. I know I did. For a long time I did, and I didn't understand it, and I didn't want to. But take it from me, you are okay. And if not, I'm here for you. You know, you can binge watch my videos, you can subscribe to the channel if you would like to. And you are more than welcome here, and I go live all the time, almost every day, usually every other day. I'll say every weekend, really. But I post videos like twice, sometimes 3 times a week, so, and I have shorts daily. If you guys want to see any more content, you know, subscribe for more. Also, thank you to the moderators. Oh my god. Why is that happening? But yes, thank you to the moderators. Thank you, Elaine, for helping me with that one live where all the people were joining in. I saw it after the fact. I didn't realize in the moment, but you were like a warrior for me. Thank you so much. And thank you to like Eddie Spaghetti, and thank you to Jared. Thanks, Jared. For real. And yeah, you guys subscribe for more. Like this video. Share it with your friends if you enjoyed. And know that everything is going to be okay. No matter what, at the end of the day, what you may think about your situation or what your situation really is, you can be completely self-aware, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean feed into it, you know, feed into that hope, and that you have to have faith in life, or faith in yourself at the very least.
Again, again, and then you gotta get just to get back up. Sometimes, you know, you gotta get down just to get back up. Cause none of these days ever be lived on. One of these days will